Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Golan Meth, Michael Fletcher, alongside Anthony Floyo, Michael Bullock, and Dee Woodson. Guys, we're just going to dive right on in. We start off with Smackdown Live as it was Daniel Bryan basically cutting a promo, talking about why he should get an opportunity one more time at the Universal title, talking about what happened at Fastlane, and then it was interrupted by Edge. Edge comes out basically pissing a fit about that he deserves, it being one-on-one at WrestleMania. And Adam Pearce comes out and basically said that he's going to make a decision later in the evening, saying, there's a number of ways that we could do this. There's a number of ways that this could be played out, which is, we could do the old WrestleMania 10 way. Have one match early in the night, and actually this works out even. Have one match on night one, Edge versus Roman Reigns. The winner would face Daniel on night two to determine the undisputed Universal Champion. Now, a lot of people feel like, we could do it that way. Back-to-back seems unreasonable. So we'll figure this out. Edge flips out at the end, losing his mind. Like you said, an angry, irate Edge is the best Edge. He definitely wants his WrestleMania moment. And he feels like Daniel Bryan is hijacking that moment. But if you really think about it, look at the result of what happened at Fastlane. Look what happened. Daniel Bryan did the unthinkable. He is legitly the first man ever to make Roman Reigns tap out in the middle of the ring. And yes, folks, Roman Reigns tapped out. There's no ifs or ands or buts. And right now, Daniel Bryan could have been the Universal Champion if it wasn't for Edge smacking him with the steel chair. So there's a lot to dissect here. This was a great way to start the show. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Agreed. But I do have some nitpicks, as always. Daniel Bryan saying he wants to earn a title match with a title match made no sense whatsoever and immediately made him sound disingenuous, whether that was intentional or not. The idea of him facing the winner of Reigns and Edge on night two isn't a bad one, but this smells like a feud destined to end in a triple threat match, and that's perfectly acceptable too. It has been the best story in WWE for the last month and deserves a conclusion of epic proportions on wrestling's grandest stage. How that happens outside of the terrible, quote-unquote, immediate title shot first proposed by Bryan matters not. The biggest takeaway from the segment, Edge is very much a heel now. As if his actions did not reflect that, the piped-in boos sure did. WWE is openly acknowledging it, which essentially admits the returning babyface story failed. Where have we seen this before? Dave Bautista, 7 years ago. Need I say more? Michael Bullock, all yours.
Yeah, this was definitely a good promo here. I mean, yeah, Daniel Bryan feeling like he deserves another opportunity, and basically he's right because, like you just said, Fletch. I mean, as we saw on the replay, Daniel Bryan made Roman Reigns tap out. And he could have been the Universal Champion if it weren't for Edge using the steel chair. And then Edge comes out and throws a pissy fit. Basically being typical Edge and basically saying, no, you had 2 chances and you lost both times. You need to go to the back of the line. Well, yeah. So I think this is going to lead to more of a triple threat match as far as I'm concerned. And to me, that would make this main event more better. I mean, come on, guys. Do you really think Edge and Roman Reigns, you really think those two could work it out together?
No.
Absolutely not. You add Daniel Bryan to this makes this main event even much better. So, yeah, so to Edge, for you to throw a hissy fit at Daniel Bryan saying no for it, you know what? Go screw yourself, because you were the one that cost Daniel Bryan a chance to become the Universal Champion. So he deserves another opportunity. And I'm saying this as the vice president of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement. And if I know Florio as the president of it, he would back me up on it. Done, finished, D.D. Woodson, it's yours.
He should be champion right now. Simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah, he should be. But, like they said, the referee's decision is final. But, we still have Adam to give us the decision later on in the night to find out what he's going to do with this situation between all these guys. But yeah, Edge, I thought you were an adult, not a 2-year-old. So, we don't need the 2-year-old temper tantrum. Thank you very much. So, yeah, it was a good way to start the show. But yeah, we don't need grown men acting like children. So, it's yours, Fletch.
All right, and we go into the first fight of the night, which was a return match from Fastlane. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins. Rollins wins the match in 9 minutes and 41 seconds, and then Rollins tried to basically take out Nakamura. That prompted Cesaro to hit the ring, and he almost got him in that swing again, but Rollins creeped away and ran like a coward out the door. Well, you ain't gonna run away from him now, Seth, because Adam Pearce did make it official. Night 1, WrestleMania, Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. 1-on-1, Swiss Superman versus the Messiah, Anthony Florio. Oh, man. We wanted it. We got it. Night 1, WrestleMania, Raymond James Stadium.
Amazing. Let's see. Rollins and Nakamura could probably sleepwalk their way to an above-average match at this point. Their chemistry is undeniable, and the flow of their matches is so smooth. Rollins picking up the win was the right call, even if it does further diminish Nakamura's credibility. The former WWE and Universal Champion is primed for a WrestleMania appearance, and whether it's right or not, Nakamura is not. Rollins needs to stay strong for his showdown with Cesaro. Speaking of the Swiss Superman, he showed great fire here, unloading on Rollins and expressing the sort of emotion critics have always wondered if he was capable of. He was great here and really added heat to a feud that will likely culminate in one of this year's show-stealing matches. This match was about 3 to 3.25 stars for the effort. The only downside was a little too short for my liking, but for what we got in those 9+ minutes, I would say that's a good 3 to 3.25 star effort. It's definitely one of the fights of the night for sure. No question about that. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Rollins, and Nakamura deliver another great match here tonight. But how about the big announcement? Rollins, Cesaro, 1-on-1, night 1 of WrestleMania.
You knew it was only going to be a matter of time before we got the match with Cesaro and Seth Rollins at Mania, and yep, Adam Pearce definitely made it official. So it's going to happen night 1. So that's got a sleeper fight of the night potential right there. So 3 to 3.25 stars. I agree with you on the rating here. I mean, it was a little too short for my liking, but like you said, in the time that we did get, I thought the action was good for what it was. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, it was 3 3/4 of a star. That's a good rating. It was a good match. The guys did a great job. Yeah, Seth ran away like a scalded dog, trying to get away from Cesaro, just to get caught in the back and get swung again. So he did not get away. And of course, the famous line from Seth Rollins tonight was, Cesaro was never going to swing him again. Sorry. Didn't get your wish, Seth.
Be careful what you wish for, bro. Speak your words very softly, because sometimes they come back to bite you, and they bit them.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, take it.
You got it. 3.25, 3.5 for me. Solid match. Like you said, every time Nakamura and Cesaro get it, Nakamura and Seth get it on, it's poetry in motion right now. This is why SmackDown has so many great matches. Now, if the writing can get better, and we can give longer matches, like 10 minutes a piece, now we're talking a great show. And this first, I guess you could say, first hour, maybe about, I want to say, the first half hour, 45 minutes, we nailed it. We got it right. We were doing perfect. So this was definitely a good start, no doubt about it. Next up we had was the Alpha Academy and Apollo Crews against the Street Profits and Big E. Alpha Academy and Apollo Crews beats the Street Profits and Big E in 4 minutes and 21 seconds because Apollo Crews got the Olympic slam on Big E for the 1, 2, 3. We already know that's championship committee moment automatic. So Mike Bullock, it's yours. Apollo Crews just pinned the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, I'll give it about 1.25 for the match here. I mean, it was well too short for my liking. I mean, I really wanted to see more out of it, but yeah, Apollo Crews getting the victory for his team on Big E, and that's a championship committee moment. But I just saw, guys, that it is official. It's going to be Apollo Crews and Big E going down for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. So we knew this was going to happen. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, it was a rather short match. I would have liked to seen a little bit more out of it myself as well. So I'll go maybe 1.5 on the match. But, you know, they had good chemistry between the 6 of them. But, yeah, they just needed a little more time to really build the story going into this, with, you know, the fact that they are trying to get 2 matches out of this one match for WrestleMania. So, yeah, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, this was pretty good. Not bad at all, to say the very least. But if you notice, Alpha Academy and Street Profits, they're one of possibly 4 teams. 2 of 4 possible teams that could be fighting for the SmackDown tag team titles at WrestleMania. Of course, Apollo Crews and Big E, they were on a collision course anyway going into WrestleMania. So you got 2 different storylines going at it. Yes, the match was short, which is a little disappointing. That's a little frustrating, but You got ample time for everybody involved. You elevate their storylines respectively. But right now, Big E and Apollo really needs a jump start because, they had a great match, but the finish was very odd. It wasn't a good finish, and it kind of it hurt the storyline a little bit. Tonight, they kind of went back, tried to refresh it, and now they're trying to keep it going, keep the momentum going. And I hope it keeps going to WrestleMania because this was a really good storyline. And like I said, it made the Intercontinental title relevant. And I really hope they really keep it going and ride this all the way to Mania because this could be one of the best IC title fights in the last few years of WrestleMania. We haven't had many great Intercontinental title matches at WrestleMania. This could be a really good match if it's done correctly. Anthony Florio, it is 1.5. It's yours.
I'm going to be a little more generous and give it 2 stars for the effort here. Apollo Crews winning a match was a nice start to his path to WrestleMania, where he will challenge Big E for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. And I can confirm, folks, that it will be on night 2. So Sunday, April 11th, you'll see those two go at it. But getting back to Crews, he has lost too often despite a renewed push and needed the win to explain why he is worthy of yet another title opportunity. Had they not, and yet another showdown for the title would have lacked even more logic than the last one. The match itself was standard multi-man tag fare in WWE with each man shining down the stretch before the finish. No one was hurt by anything that went down, and Crews built some momentum, so it was at least a success in that regard. Like MF said, we haven't had too many standout Intercontinental Heavyweight title matches at WrestleMania. We've had a few of those. I mean, the very first standout, obviously, Randy Macho Man Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, WrestleMania 3, 5-star classic. You know the rest of that story. One match that I was such an idiot to omit a week ago that just crossed my mind that I should have mentioned among the standouts. Rowdy Roddy Piper and Bret Hart from WrestleMania 8. That was another standout. That was 4 1/4 right there. I'll even throw in I'll even add a sleeper to that. Shawn Michaels and Tatanka from WrestleMania 9. That was another great IC title fight, even with the clunky finish in that one. Razor and Shawn, the ladder match at 10. I mean, that's self-explanatory. And then we had average to okay title matches in many years after that. We wouldn't really see another standout until we got to WrestleMania 34 with The Miz, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins. They were incredible, and last year could have been really good with Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan, but unfortunately that was a bit of a disappointment. But like MF said, Big E and Apollo, if they give these two the proper time, they book it correctly and everything else, we've got potential for a rare standout IC title fight. So not much more to say here. 2 stars for my efforts. So not much more to say. I believe it goes back to you, MF.
Yes, it does. And with that, we move on to the next fight of the evening, which was Bianca Belaire versus Natalia. And Bianca wins the match in 9 minutes and 24 seconds. But what really stood out in this was really Sasha Banks. She was out there at ringside and the whole 9 yards. And, well, let's just say Bianca started WrestleMania early, we'll say. So what happened was both ladies were talking a little bit of trash. Bianca and Sasha got into it. Next thing you know, the biatch slapped her around the world. Bianca slaps Sasha in the face, drops her to the ground, gets back in the ring. They hit the KOD on Natalia, but boy, did that Fury the boss, because she runs in, backstabber. I thought she went for the bank statement, but no, she just backstabbed Bianca, and man, oh, wee! Yes, the ladies. That's what I want to see. Get some aggression out. Let's go, man. WrestleMania. And I hope this is the main event for night one. I don't believe it's going to be. But, man, Bianca and Sasha are going to tear the house down when they get to Raymond James, Didi. It is all yours. The match with Natalia was all right, but man, did they throw a powder keg into that rivalry going for the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania.
That they did. Now, during the match, Sasha said that was the main event of night one.
All right, there you go. Main event
so
night
Sasha,
one.
Sasha was the one who confirmed that it was the main event of night one during the show. You know, whether or not she's jumping the gun or whatever, I don't know. But right now, that's the only confirmation we have is what she said on the show. But yeah, Bianca and Natalia, they've got pretty good chemistry in the ring. But of course, you had Tamina out there, you had Sasha out there, and Sasha just had to get up, had to get into Bianca's face, and Bianca takes her out, finishes the match for Sasha to come in, and I guess you could say Sasha just did her heel turn for the night on that, taking out Bianca Belaire the way she did. So yeah, I'm going to give it probably about 2 stars. It was a fairly good match. Didn't really need, the interference of Sasha, even though it didn't really affect the ending. But I understand why it was there, because it's all storyline. They're all building this up for that WrestleMania match. And if it is the main event of night one, then, that's awesome. If not, I'm thinking it'd probably be the match right before the main event if it's not. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if WWE confirms it being the main event. I know when they went through the matches, they did list it last on night one. So that might be the confirmation that Sasha was right. So we'll see. It's yours, Fletch.
I'm probably gonna say that if Sasha's saying it, if WWE is putting it like at the very end of the night one action, I'm pretty sure that means it's the main event of night one. So I'm gonna say that I'm also gonna pencil it in as of right now as the main event for night one of WrestleMania. And why not? She did win the Royal Rumble. Normally, they would say if you win the Royal Rumble, you get to main event WrestleMania. And I think that's what they're doing this year. Because they have 2 nights, and because they're doing a 2-night WrestleMania, it seems logical that you have the Women's Royal Rumble winner be the main event of one night, the Men's Royal Rumble winner be the main event of the second night. That's why I believe that night one is definitely Bianca and Sasha, where night 2 will be whatever it may be. Edge versus Roman. And where does Daniel Bryan fit in all this? We don't know. But at least for now, the Universal title will be the main event of night 2, which means for the first time ever at a WrestleMania, SmackDown will have both main events on both nights. That's a huge coup for the Blue brand. That's massive, to say the very least. So we'll wait and see how it plays out. But this was a good match. This was a solid fight. I'll give this about 3 stars. And I love the fact of the ending because it puts more heat on Sasha Banks. She definitely is playing the heel now in this match. I like it. I love it. And I cannot wait for this match. My interest of the SmackDown Women's title match has gone sky high now. And I really believe that this could be a show-stealing match. And I hope, and I really hope, WWE does give these girls ample time and let them just tear the house down, because I do believe Sasha and Bianca could give us, and I'm going to openly admit it, and I know I might be foreshadowing and I might be saying this might be too soon, but this could be better than Charlotte versus Rhea from a year ago at WrestleMania. It has the makings of being, by far, on paper, the greatest women's title match in WrestleMania history. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yeah. Let me clear this whole thing up here. Sasha just tweeted the words main event. I think that was Sasha being Sasha, in character and the whole 9 yards. But dirt sheets have gone around over the last couple of days during this week that Sasha Banks herself wants this match to main event night 1 of WrestleMania. And she's not alone. WWE fans want this to be the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania. And we have a hashtag. The hashtag is main event Banks versus Bellaire. And it began trending on Twitter. Mickie James agrees with it. Chelsea Green agrees with it, and others. Some of and that's pretty much all I have. They just want it, and but I'll tell you what. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's only happened once. We all know that. That was just 2 short years ago when Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch had that winner-take-all triple threat match for the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships, which ended up being the main event. And it wasn't quite the classic we were hoping for. But then again, the fight didn't start until friggin' midnight. So you really think they were going to put on a 5-star match at that hour? No. But it was still good. But anyways, as far as this is concerned, Belaire versus Natalia is one of those matches you wish would be given 10 plus minutes to really develop, because the styles of the competitors mesh relatively well. With plenty of time to work with, they could tell a hell of a story and deliver something special. As it was, this was fine for what it was, but was essentially overshadowed by the presence of Sasha Banks and Tamina at ringside. Belaire winning was the right call, considering her place on the Mania card, but it was interesting to see Natalya eat the clean pinfall loss when she and Tamina had been building momentum in recent weeks. Why bother spending time putting Natty and Tamina over when they are going to turn around in a singles bout like this and lose right away? But other than that, I'll give this about 2.5 for the effort. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, the people have spoken. They want Sasha and Bianca to main event night 1 of WrestleMania 37. Hashtag main event Banks versus Bellaire.
I really hope it does, but we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, I know Sasha Banks said it, but that's basically her with her character. So we're going to have to wait and see from WWE officials if they do make this the main event. I hope they do. I hope they do make it the main event of night 1, but I don't think they will. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, 3 stars on the match here. So yeah, there's really nothing more to add to it. So let's move on, Fletch.
All right, and with that said, we do move on to the next match of the night, which was Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler. Rey Mysterio wins the match in 9 minutes and 17 seconds. look, good match, solid fight, another 2.5 to 3. Big win for Rey Mysterio. And again, that adds another element to the possible tag team title match. With Rey beating Dolph Ziggler, you could say that now the Mysterios deserve a shot at the titles. Right now, there's no doubt in my mind we're looking at a possible fatal 4-way for the SmackDown tag team titles. The Mysterios, Rey and Dominic. Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis. The Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. And, of course, the reigning and defending champions, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Anthony, fatal 4-way is almost a given for WrestleMania.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up serving as a potential kickoff show for either night 1 or night 2. A kickoff show bout. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see because of the loaded card here. But nonetheless, I got to call this the fight of the night. I mean, I got to say this was about 3.25 to 3.5 stars. I mean, amazing action throughout. But again, I do have to be nitpicky here, unfortunately. As much as I enjoyed the match, and I did, Dolph Ziggler's breakout performance in WWE came during his feud with Rey Mysterio and the barn burner they delivered to kick off the 2009 SummerSlam for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. This was not quite that match. It was instead a relatively subdued TV match that further diminished the tag team champions' credibility at a time when it was already difficult to find a reason to care about them. Ziggler and Roode are too talented to be utilized so lethargically by WWE Creative, who seems content to build every other team but them. Yet here we are watching one half of the champions lose to Mysterio, lose to a Mysterio who was left for dead heading into the break. I mean, what a bump that was. My gosh. If Ziggler can't beat Rey after he took that spill, how will he and Roode beat any of the competing teams at the inevitable multi-team match at WrestleMania, along with the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy? That's my only little nitpick. But other than that, though, it was a great match, though. And I got to call it the fight of the night by a smidge here. I mean, especially that bump alone, where Ziggler threw Mysterio almost halfway across the front row of the Thunderdome. Insane. And then that zigzag that he hit. The zigzag that Ziggler hit might have been the most impressive zigzag I've ever seen, and yet Rey kicked out of that. That's what did it for me. So even with the constructive criticism, this was still, for me, the fight of the night. So 3.25, 3.5. Michael Bullock, I mean, not quite SummerSlam 2009 level, but still, I mean, great matchup here.
Yeah, definitely a great matchup between these two. I mean, not the same quality that we saw back at SummerSlam 2009, but still, it was definitely a match that I definitely enjoyed. 3.25 to 3.5. I would have to say it is the fight of the night as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to add to it. So, DD Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with all that. So I'm not going to add too much more. It's yours, Fletch.
Agreed. Nothing more to add. We'll go right into the main event segment, which was the decision by Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce laid out all the details. He said, and it follows. He said that it makes sense that Edge and Roman didn't want 2 title matches in one night or to defend on 2 different nights. But he also makes sense that Daniel Bryan should get another shot given what happened at Fastlane. He also acknowledged that a double standard was at play at the Elimination Chamber. Therefore, the official decision that Adam Pearce has made, the main event of WrestleMania Night 2, will now be Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against Edge and Daniel Bryan in a triple threat match. that prompted a melee after Anthony Florio. You lead off. Oh my goodness.
Hands down, this was the segment of the night right here. The idea that Adam Pearce announcing Daniel Bryan's entry into this match would drive Edge to madness is an intriguing one. After all, Edge's long, winding journey back to the top of the industry has been an emotionally draining one, and now he has one more hurdle to overcome to achieve the goal he set for himself. Given how vapid and one-dimensional most WWE storylines are these days, it is almost amazing that the creative team has managed to produce something this compelling. From a larger picture standpoint, Bryan versus Edge versus Reigns is going to tear the house down and probably be a legitimate match of the year candidate. It is the match WrestleMania deserves, especially a show like this year's, where part-time legends are few and far between. So, but no big surprise. We all knew this announcement was coming. I did not like the way how they dragged it out. I didn't like that. But other than that, though, this was indeed the segment of the night. So there's not much more to say. Michael Bullock, we wanted Daniel Bryan in the main event. We got him. Reigns, Edge, Bryan, triple threat, universal title. There's your main event of WrestleMania right there.
Yes, and I'm very happy about that. I mean, nobody wanted to see Edge versus Roman Reigns one-on-one, especially after what we saw at Fastlane. So we knew it was only a matter of time before Daniel Bryan gets inserted, and Adam Pearce did the right thing. And yeah, and then after that, we had a big-time melee, but the one that really took control of it was Edge. I mean, it's almost like when Edge lost it, when Edge heard that it was going to be a triple threat, it's like something snapped inside him, and he took it out on everybody, not just his two opponents, but WWE officials as well. I mean, you saw
somebody's going to get fined.
Yeah, I was going to say Edge is definitely going to get fined for that. But do you really think Edge gives a damn if he gets fined? Do you really think somebody wants to go and deliver the news to Edge that he's going to get fined for that? With the state of mind he's in right now? I certainly wouldn't want to be that person, because I think Edge would have a nice big delivery of a spear for me. But you know what, Edge? Too damn bad, my friend. You're the one who started all this. And now, if you're going to want the Universal title, you're going to have to earn it now against two guys. So, great segment to close the show. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
We have a nice little saying: if you can't take it, don't dish it. So, Edge, you're dishing all this. If you can't take it, don't dish it out. It's simple as that. We all knew this was going to happen. We all knew that they were going to make this a triple threat. It finally happened tonight. And now it's time to do the big build-up for that match. So we'll see just how these next couple weeks they build this. If they can continue the momentum we have now, or if they take it in a completely different direction. But now they've got it set up to where they don't have to pin Roman for one of them to win the title. That may be the way Roman loses the title, is him not being pinned. That way he can still keep his head of the table thing going without actually being pinned. So we'll have to see what happens with that. So it was a good way to end. It was a good storyline building. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And yeah, there is a very compelling point, because if you remember, when Daniel Bryan won the title at WrestleMania 30, if you remember, He never got to Randy Orton, who is the current champion. He made Batista tap out. He made the Royal Rumble winner tap out to win the title. Could we possibly be heading down that road again? Daniel Bryan taps out Edge to win the Universal title, and Roman would not lose any momentum. Like you said, he would not lose any momentum because he would not be involved in the pin or not be involved in the decision. We'll wait and see. Whatever the case may be, WrestleMania, oh my God. You know what? The keyword is back in business, and it looks like WWE is legitly back in business. They're going to make this WrestleMania the biggest and best ever. They know they dropped the ball a year ago. A lot of people called last year's WrestleMania the worst Mania ever because of the fact that there was no fans. They were restricted under the COVID rules. They are coming back with guns blazing this year, and they are setting up this 2-night event to be the best one yet. So everybody thought that last year's WrestleMania was the worst Mania ever. They're coming back this year with vengeance on their mind, man. And to put it at Raymond James, they're going back to rewrite a wrong that should have been done 1 year ago. That's all I'm saying. WWE is setting this up to be the biggest night ever. So, yeah, definitely a great way to close the show. Michael Bullock, overall reviews, it starts off with you.
All right, yeah. I thought this was a good show. I mean, you had some good matches. You had some okay matches, to say the very least. So I'm going to give this about maybe 7 to 7.5 as my rating. I mean, it was, like I said, it was you know what? I'm leaning more towards 7. That's what I say. 7 out of 10 for me. I mean, it was good but not great edition of Friday Night SmackDown. So nice build towards WrestleMania. So there's really nothing more for me to add. So Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, I could probably go 7 to 7.5. It was a good newsworthy show. Had a couple of really good high quality matches, and some that were kind of in the middle. The segment at the end of the show, yeah, that was the segment of the night. But at the same time, it was a gimme. We all knew it was going to happen. So, but yeah, it still left us with several questions on how certain things are going to play out. So we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens with that. But yeah, SmackDown, great job being the newsworthy show that you are. So yeah, not much more I'm going to add. I'll see you guys Monday. Good night, guys.
Good night, Dee. 7.5 out of 10 for me. I thought it was a lot better than what you guys are talking about. I do understand on certain elements, but I still thought this was a very good SmackDown. Really, really, really great push to WrestleMania. A lot of great things came out of this tonight. Really newsworthy on the fact of WrestleMania more than anything else. And they're really, at least on the SmackDown side, we're tightening up a couple of loose ends right now. But right now, we are prepared for WrestleMania. Probably better than anybody right now going in. So, Anthony Florio, final word is yours.
OMF. WrestleMania. What can you say? I mean, 2-night affair. It's one of the few pay-per-views that you not only do the SmackDown fights, but you also do the Raw ones as well. We only do that for the majors, and I know this one here. And here's one other thing. before I get into my overall thought, one other match was added for WrestleMania tonight on the SmackDown side, and it was also a match that MF wanted as well. MF, remember how you're saying you wanted to see Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn? You got it. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn now added to WrestleMania. So I don't see one bad match on the SmackDown side. Sasha and Bianca, Cesaro and Rollins, Roman, Edge and Bryan, Big E and Apollo, KO and Sammy. I don't see one bad match on that side of things. But then again, I could say the same thing on the Raw side. But I do have concerns about two matches. I have a small concern about the Fiend and Orton. Of course, the match.
I don't think Fiend and Orton you should worry. I think because if it's Firefly Funhouse, it's cinematic. I don't think it's going to be as bad. I think it could be in the level, and I'm going to be openly honest, I think it could be something similar to what we saw in Boneyard. Last year, it was kind of funny, ha-ha, and not. This time, I think it's going to be serious. I think it's going to get ugly. I think this is going to be... I think this is going to be 30... I think this is going to be their version of the Boneyard. Yeah, I think this is going to be their version of the Boneyard this year.
Fair enough. But the one match I am most certainly worried about is Bad Bunny and The Miz. That's got dud written all over it. That's it. And then, of course, Braun and Shane as well. I mean, but other than those couple of matches, I mean, Raw's looking pretty good. So, but I'll tell you what, man. I mean, right now, MF, I got to say the advantage goes right now to SmackDown. I mean, last year, technically, Raw main evented both nights because AJ Styles exclusive to Monday Night Raw when he went up against The Undertaker in that Boneyard match. And then, of course, Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar the next night. So this would be a great way for SmackDown to get it back from last year. Sasha and Bianca, I mean, I would love to see it. But then again, you also have Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre on the same night. And it's the WWE Championship. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We got a couple of weeks to think about this. But for right now, I'll make it unanimous. I'll give this about 7.5. I mean, we had about 2, maybe 3 good matches, a couple of good segments here and there, storyline progression. The closing segment was hands down the highlight. A very hot show closing angle, to say the least. And just like we saw on Monday Night on Raw, we have the WrestleMania card took shape on the SmackDown side, just like it did on Raw. So as of now, folks, we have 11 matches. We've got 11 combined matches. 6 matches announced for night 1, 5 matches announced for night 2. And you know what? It ain't gonna stop there. There's gonna be more. There will be more. I think we're gonna have a SmackDown tag team title match. I think we're looking at a 4-way. I think we're looking at Ziggler and Rude against the Mysterios, the Street Profits, and the Alpha Academy. I think we're gonna have a 4-way for the women's tag titles. I think it's gonna be Nia and Shayna against Mandy and Dana, Naomi and Lana, and Natalia and Tamina. I think that's gonna happen. And I think we'll also have the return of the Battle Royals. I think we'll have the return of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And I think we'll also have the return of the Women's Battle Royals. So we could be looking at a combined 17 total matches. And I think that's the same amount we had a year ago, split over the 2 nights. So you said it, MF. Biggest and best WrestleMania ever, considering the fact that they're going to have fans, real fans, not cardboard cutouts or Thunderdomers like we've been having for this last year and whatnot. No, honey. It's going to be in front of fans. And as of right now, I can confirm that they've sold over 20,000 tickets for both nights. I think they have about 1,200 tickets left for night 1 and about 860 tickets left for night 2. So they're guaranteed over 20,000 at least for both nights. I know they wanted 25, but they're definitely getting over 20 for both nights. And because of this being the first show in front of fans in over a year, how can these superstars not put on the best effort they've put on? You know how long they've been waiting to perform in front of real fans? A year and a month. Well, it'll be a year and a month when we get to Mania. But MF, with the way this card is being booked, especially on the SmackDown side, those 20, 25,000 plus fans in attendance on both nights, they're going to be in for something special. This has the potential to blow last year's Mania out of the water, even though we didn't think it was remotely that bad. Yes, it wasn't the same because of all the COVID protocols and all that good stuff. But, you know, this Mania definitely has blow-away potential. This is going to make that WrestleMania look like the worst one ever. So think about it, MF. 20+ thousand on both nights. Those superstars are chomping at the bits, and you better believe they're gonna put their hearts and their souls out there. So I don't know what else there is to say. So about 7.5 for me. Good show. 2 weeks away, guys. You starting to feel the excitement? I'm starting to.
I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the excitement. The level is rising, and we know it's only going to get better. It's only going to get bigger because, like we said, it's WrestleMania, the showcase of the Immortals, the biggest event of the year, and it's about to go down, folks. It is about to go down. All right, so it looks like we got the results from the Ring of Honor. Yes, we do. Okay, so we got ourselves, tonight was the Ring of Honor 19th anniversary wrestling event, and it went down, and I believe we got all the results. So I'm going to dive right in very quickly. So this is what we got. Come on. All right. So we started off with a couple of oh, come on. All right. So we started off with a couple of pre-show fights. We had was Eli Ism, Dan Hudson, and Brian Johnson, and LSG in a four corners match. Brian Johnson won the match in 10 minutes and 55 seconds. Then after that, we had ourselves another multi-man match, as it was Shane Taylor, Moss, and Kohan versus Bandito, Flamata, and Ray Horace for the six-man tag team titles. And it was the Mexican squad. Actually, no, it was Shane Taylor, Moses, and Kahan winning the match in 7 minutes and 55 seconds. Now to the main card, as it was Kenny King versus Tracy Williams for the Ring of Honor television titles. Tracy Williams wins the title at 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Next up, we have Mark Briscoe versus Flip Gordon. Flip Gordon wins the match in 7 minutes and 45 seconds. After that, we had Dalton Castle versus Josh Woods. Dalton Castle wins the match in 10 minutes and 20 seconds. EC3 versus Jay Briscoe. Jay Briscoe beats EC3 20 minutes, 55 seconds. What was believed to be the fight of the night. Then we had Bandito, Flamara, and Ray Horace in a three-way. Bandito won the match. We had Vincent versus Matt Taven in an unsanctioned match. Basically, that fight ended in a no contest. Then we had Jonathan Grisham versus Dak Dapper for the Pure Championship. The winner of the bout was Jonathan Grisham. Then we had, it's still going on at this hour. I'm sorry. So now we have right now is El Besta del King and Kenny King. They're going up against Red Titus and Tracy Williams. That's for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. The match is going on as we speak, and also still to come tonight in the main event, Rush puts the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight title on the line against Jay Lethal. That is being right now on Fight TV and on the Honor Club. And it's live right now. So, guys, there's really nothing more to add. Once I get the results of those matches, I'll probably get that to you guys next week. Well, maybe next week. We'll see. But until then, that's it for tonight. We'll be back at it again on Monday night for Ridiculously Raw. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.